Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review. Gimlet today, Queen of Audio. Another Queen of Audio set. It's Queen of Audio week. How cool is that? Queen of Audio is part of Kinera. Kinera, Ziigaat, Queen of Audio kind of thing. Anyway, they do their own things, and if you didn't catch it in the previous videos, Queen of Audio's thing is naming their IEMs after classic cocktails. This one be the Gimlet. What's in a gimlet, you ask? Well, I actually looked it up again because, it's been a minute since I've had a drink. It is gin, lime juice, and simple syrup, or if you want to skip the lime juice and simple syrup separately, you can get Rose's lime juice because that's already sweet. Probably not that great. Probably better to do it the other way, but it's there. Anyway, pretty strong from what I can tell. Like the recipe called for like 2.5 ounces of gin, Jesus, and like a half ounce or like an ounce of combined sweetener and lime juice. So yikes. Boy, one of those would put me under right now. Well, and right back into rehab. Once is enough. That's fine. Thank you. It was fine, but once is enough. Anyway, you can see there's a whole bunch of shit on my desk, as usual, but there's actually a reason why I have other sets out, so I love popping the light on after I start the video. Tipsy Star and One, EA500 from Ziigaat, the original, the Ziigaat Nuo. Over here there's the Pandemon 2.0, and these are all comps. But the Pandemon 2.0 is actually a square planar 10mm, so not, sort of apples to oranges. And I even busted out, for the first time in a while, I actually busted out Crinical's Project Zero Red. But that is a dual dynamic driver, so not a direct comparison. So I don't think I'm going to really go over that, except to say that it wasn't as good as I remember it. Funny what time and context does for you. But anyway, not bad, just not as good as I remember. Back to Queen of Audio and back to the Gimlet. The specs on the Gimlet are as follows. You have a 10mm LCP dynamic driver. What else has the LCP dynamic 10mm driver? The Nuo has it. The Tipsy Star and One, EPZ and Tipsy Star and One has it. This is a DLC, but it is diamond like carbon, but it is 10mm, so that's why I included it as a comp. Plus, always good to put Ziigaat in as a comp because so many people like that brand. Kind of good to have it. Plus, I hadn't been doing enough comps lately. I just realized that, I've kind of just like thrown out the IEMs as they are, which is what I like to do. But sometimes context is important. So with this set, being that it is $59 or $59.99, just under 60, it has some pretty stiff competition, including the Ziigaat, which is 80, but now you can find it for 70 just about any time you're looking. Star and One gets down to about 72 with a 20% off coupon. I think that is on right now, so we're just talking about $10 more. And then the Nuo is half price. The Nuo is $30 on a bad day and $24 on a good day. And of course, the Pandemon 2 is also $59.99. Just a shade under 60. Anyway, I wish they would just, I don't know. I understand the whole the sales psychology behind 9s and 5s and being just under a certain price point being sort of magical, as you would say. I spent a long time in retail, so I get it. In addition to that, you have, let's see, sensitivity is 108, resistance 32 ohms, and your cable is a 4N 4-core silver-plated copper 0.782 pin terminating in a 3.5. I happen to have this Celeste cable kicking around, so since it was in-house, I used that with the 4.4. But, oh, here we go with the slow ramp again. Oh, come on. It's a nice box though, isn't it? There we go. So, in the box, you get some handy-dandy information cards. And you get a picture of this pretty lady, who is Sophia Yu, I believe. I wish I could read that. Oh, Queen of Audio founder. Sophia, I'm a fan. Very nice. Here's the cable. Pretty. Great finishes again. You know, this is a high quality cable, and it is very soft and non-tangly and all the good stuff. I mean, that's the one thing you get when you buy a Kinera set or a Kinera Celeste or a Queen of Audio. You're getting a good cable. You're getting usable ear tips, normal and wider bore in this case. I did actually use the blue vocal tips for a little bit on them, but you know, ears are funny, so they were just a bit too shallow for me. And then of course the case, which I'm gonna put you on top there, Sophia. Oops. Hope she likes that. Case again. Quality. PU leather, nylon on the inside, dropping it on the floor. Yeah, good stuff. Good for $60. Good unboxing experience. Quality components. I mean, accessories, cable, ear tips. It's all there. It's all there, you know. So here's what I would say. I'm just gonna go do the price comparison first, so y'all kind of like see where I'm going with this before we get into sound. Build quality on these is also exceptional. So they are metal shelled. They're fairly heavy, but they're small enough so that when they get seated in your ear, again, not a problem. A very comfortable fit. You can wear them for a long time. One of my notes, I think I wrote down Metal Gear Solid. It was like a video game at one point, I think. But yeah, they're solid as hell, and they've got good detail, goldish looking sort of circle there on the faceplate, and very well put together. Nozzles, long enough, not super long, not super short. Good stuff. So if I were to say on a price basis, price for what you get as far as the IEM and the accessories, the Nuo is half the cost, half the price. This is not the Nuo cable. This is the Kiwi Ears Quintet cable. But as I have a bunch of 3.5s that I don't use, the IEMs, like the Nuo, they get their pick of the litter, so to speak. So it got the Quintet cable. Nuo is looks like 3D printed resin with a plastic cap. So the build quality is not nearly in the same ballpark. It is finished well, I will say that. You know, it's like there's no like, you know, roughness or sharp edges or anything like that to it. So it is finished well. But here's the deal. Those are the X-Lastic tips. With the Nuo, it's bare bones. So for $30, you do not get this. You get a much cheaper cable, which is somewhere in the drawer of confusion, but we're not going to open that right now. I don't like confusing people, including myself. You basically get the IEMs, a cable, and a set of ear tips. That's it. And the cable is not great, and the ear tips are, you know, they're usable, but they're not great. So, you know, when it just comes to accessories, if I'm going to replace the cable, if I'm going to buy ear tips, and if I'm going to buy a pouch or a case for them, all of a sudden those become $60. Right? So that puts them pretty much head to head for sound, and we'll get into that a little bit later. On the other side of things, you have the more expensive EA500, which has a nice cable and is well accessorized, good tips, and a very nice case. And then with the TPZ, EPZ X Tipsy Star and One, you at least get a pouch, you get a decent cable, you get a nice selection of tips. So again, you know, more better. Very well accessorized sets. When you get into that $70 to $80 range, you expect it and you get it. With the Nuo, maybe I don't expect to get much, but I think I would have liked to have had at least a case for $30. I recommend these all the time, by the way. I really like them. Their sound quality is very good. It's very good. When they are on sale for $24, I don't think that there's a better sub 30 set out there. And I also like the TRN Conch, and I'm also a fan of the Chu 2 and the Tangzi Wan'er, but as far as like an upgrade in sound quality without spending a lot more money, the Nuo is where to go. That's what I think anyway. But does it compete with the Gimlet? Oh, thank God, my forehead was killing me. We'll get there. Alright, so those are your comps. Nuo, EA500, Star and One. Maybe I'll talk about the Pandemon 2 a little bit, and maybe I'll talk about the Zero Red a little bit. But let's get back on track here, and we'll talk about the frequency response, aka or tonality tuning of the Queen of Audio Gimlet as follows. Okay, so in the sub bass, you have, it's pretty good. I would say you have a pretty nice amount of sub bass rumble. I did not find it lacking. It hit the drops very solidly and pretty cleanly, honestly. You know, whether it was hip hop or whether it was metal, you got the rumble, no problem. Moving into the mid bass, I think this is one of the better tuned mid basses for a single DD under $100 that I've run into, and that is because it's impactful, but it has, you know, it has excellent attack, obviously, meaning it's impactful, but good enough decay where it is not overwhelming the mids. Now, I feel like the mids are pretty recessed, so it's kind of a V-shaped set, although kind of a lowercase V, but like a reverse check mark. The bass is definitely the star of the show. The mids are recessed. It feels like there could be bass bleed into the mids, but I think it's just really more about the fact that the mids are not really that super present. Like what's there is fine. It's just kind of there, you know? Not an area of focus. And then the treble is relaxed. It's got decent detail retrieval. It's got a decent amount of extension and energy. But it is not a treble focused set. And with the ear gain, kind of the same thing. There's a little bit of energy there, like where it should be, like kind of enough, but not in any way, shape, or form like that impressive. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like, okay, you know, that's why I'm thinking if you looked at, like, I haven't looked at the graph. I'm going to start graphing stuff myself. So I will start looking at graphs to see if I'm doing it right. But yeah, I would say it's going to be a V shape, but that second arm of the V does not go up as high as the bass goes up. So maybe it's opposite for you. That being said, I don't find the bass to be bloated. I don't find it to be overwhelming. I just find that it is more of a bass headset. It is a bass headset, you know? It's just not like this kind of bass headset, you know? Like, there is actually frequencies beyond 250 hertz in the Gimlet, unlike the Hades. So you have enough that you could, you know, they're playing it well. Things are still clear, audible. It's just that it's more bass than anything else. What else that does, besides, you know, sort of keep it from being a detail beast or, you know, a highly resolving set, because it's not. You know, I wouldn't call it fuzzy or like a wet blanket like the Hades is, but it's not a super resolving set. Just pretty laid back and relaxed. It also makes the soundstage much more intimate. So if you like that, cool, you're good. That, you know, and sometimes I like that. I'm not always looking for a massive soundstage. Although, yes, I am impressed by that when IMs are able to, you know, produce it. These don't. They have very accurate right to left panning, but most of it's fairly linear. You know, it's more about width here, not so much depth or height. That's okay. I don't expect a crazy amount of technical ability in a $60 set. And I think I've seen these on sale for like $45 at times. That's a steal right there. All right, so comps. Oh, test tracks, yeah. So I did make some notes really quick before we get into the comps as far as sound goes. They didn't really care about high res necessarily. Like if the CD quality, like the 16-bit by 44.1 kilohertz, if that was like originally recorded well enough, that was fine. That was fine. They did like 2441 or 44.1, but when you got into like 96 and 88.1 and 192, like, yeah, okay, it sounded better, but not by that much. You know, it wasn't like they were so much better or so dependent on the resolution quality of the track. That makes sense? That means they'll play like less, you know, lower quality recordings are going to play okay because they don't really overreact to it. You know, that means they're not super transparent, and obviously I said not super resolving, not super detailed, not super big soundstage. I like them because what they do well, they do well. You know, the way that they're tuned, I feel like is on purpose. I feel like the DNA of the Adonis's dynamic driver is here. Very much reminds me of the bass, you know, sub bass, mid bass, low mids on the Adonis. Very reminiscent of what this set does. They're not as energetic in that range or any other for that matter. They liked hip hop a lot. They did metal well, 8.5 out of 10. I'll give it to them because there's no sibilance to worry about, you know, and the ear gain isn't too crazy, so it can get as busy as it wants. I mean, you know, talking about like Brand of Sacrifice kind of busy. They could handle it. It was not a problem. Hip hop tracks, just because, you know, the drops were crazy, insane. You know, and then another one where I'm feeling it down in my lower body where I feel like I shouldn't be, you know, like it just doesn't make sense that I'd feel it like that. I don't know if it's all the hardware in my neck from surgery or what, but I don't know. Anyway, but you do. Rock did well. Alt rock, Radiohead, Glass Animals. Pop, K-pop. You know, and I'm sure country is fine too. I just don't really have any country tracks to listen to. That's kind of where you are. They're a middle of the road set. They play popular music very well, and they also play genres that are more bass oriented very well. And if that is what you're looking for, there it is. For $60, 50, maybe 45 on sale, I'd say it's a recommend. Not a highly recommended because I don't feel like it overperforms necessarily, but I do feel like it's competitive and I do feel like it is enjoyable, and those are two things that are very important to me and should be to you as well. How would I compare them to the Nuo? The Nuo is a neutral set. It does not have the bass response that the Gimlet does. How would I compare them to the EA500s? EA500s, especially with the stock nozzles, much more energetic in the treble. Too energetic, a little fatiguing for my personal taste, which is why I have the Moondrop Kato bronze nozzles installed. I've got them in both of my EA500 sets. So with the stock stuff, I feel like the EA500 is just a little bit too spicy up top. The Gimlet does not give you that trouble at all. Different. And then as far as the comparison to the Star&One goes, the Star&One has the very analytical, very energetic ear gain. And also a pretty extended treble. So I said this is more of a reference earphone, right? More about paying attention and maybe even mixing and mastering like tracks. Not so much this. No. This is a background set. You can listen to it in the background. If you're paying attention to the music, you're going to enjoy it. You're just not getting like the entire full crazy picture. It's not as accessible. Like, it's there. It's just a little bit more subdued. You know, you take something like just a small step up, the Vesper 2, because it's got the BAs going on. And then, of course, the Adonis, which is just crazy, crazy good because it's got the DD and the full range Knowles BA and another BA for the, you know, high frequency super tweeter, whatever you want to call it. But that's $170, and this is $60. And the Vesper 2 is $90, and this is $60. So it's another smart thing with Kinera and Queen of Audios that they step it up pretty, I would say, well. Like, what they do, what they make, and the price they put on it makes a lot of sense. So you can start around 60 and, well, even less if you want to, but and get an idea of what they do, and then if you like it, work your way up. And as you work your way up, you're rewarded. You're not disappointed. You're not like, ugh, because that happens too, right? I would say with these guys, with Kinera, Kinera Celeste, Queen of Audio, you get what you pay for. No exception on the Gimlet, for sure. Alright, why not? Pandemon 2, because I just did it. So, Pandemon 2, as you know, is the square planar driver. This is a lot more treble focused, a lot more mid and treble focused, and you know, I'm the one that made the mistake of having the bass boost on my amp when I first tried them out, but that does scale well in that respect, where if you throw a bass shelf on it, it's going to give you plenty of yummy bass. It's already here with the Gimlet. These guys just don't get as energetic in the treble as the Pandemon 2 does. So look, there you go. Two different houses, two different styles, same company. These guys are way too smart. Hey, Kinera, start sending me free shit, please. Come on. Come on. You know I'm going to do it right. I think that's all I got for you today, guys. Queen of Audio week will wrap up with the Aviation. That will either be happening Friday or Saturday. Hope y'all are having a great week. It's hump day. Take care. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see ya.